So imagine going through the stress in this very hard time to secure an interview for yourself here in the UK, and then you even ace your interview and you were offered a COS. Now you go ahead with your COS, you apply for your biometrics, you wait, you pray and you fast, and you eventually get your visa, right? Now, and then you find yourself, you take a flight, you spend all this money, and you get to the airport, you eventually land in UK. Point when you to cross officially into the UK, then you are stopped, and then you're sent into a detention camp or into a deportation center, or even as the case might be, get deported back to your home. How do you think you're going to feel? I don't even want to imagine that feeling, because that would be catastrophic. That exactly will be catastrophic. So that's exactly what we're talking about in today's video. Hello beautiful people, welcome to my channel once again. It's your girl Ada, and a happy new year to you all. Happy 2024. Welcome to the year 2024. In this 2024, I do hope you're already making positive proclamations on yourself and telling yourself that come 2024, whatever it is that you're supposed to achieve, you are going to achieve it, as long as you're willing to work towards it. Okay, I figured that before going right into bringing our updates about immigration issues and relocation packages that are available for the year 2024, I just was going to drop this out there just so you are aware, because it's one thing to go through all the stress to secure a visa, and then it will even be more painful that even with your visa, you pay your flight, you get to the border, and then you're not allowed to actually come into the country or into your dream country to officially become a resident. That is something nobody should experience. That is something nobody wants to experience, because I'm sure you'll be very, very disappointed and upset at everything. Today, I'm going to be discussing some of the scenarios and some of the instances that can actually bring you to this point. So this video is basically going to be targeting anybody who is planning to relocate to the UK in this 2024, anybody who is expecting the dependent to join them in this 2024, or even inviting a parent or a relative to come and join them under the visitor's visa in 2024. You want to watch this video. Even if it does not concern you, you definitely want to share it to somebody who is in this situation, so they are aware, to avoid stories that touch, if you know what I mean. So please go ahead now, as I'm speaking, to like this video. Just click the like button so YouTube can as well recommend it to any other person who is going to need it. And please don't forget to hit the subscribe button. Subscribe to this channel. In 2024, we are going to be bringing you immigration content about relocation to UK, Canada, Australia, New Zealand, a lot of these countries. And basically, we are going to be talking about life in UK as well. Things that are happening in UK, things, ways to avoid problems when you're a resident in the UK, and all whatnot, all the good stuff. So, well, let's go right into today's video. Now, we all know that come spring 2024, a lot of changes are going to happen as regards immigration in the UK. Everybody's aware of this. We've made so many videos. It's up here in the channel. I can even leave some of the links for you to go and watch. Now, we know that from spring 2024, a lot of persons are no longer going to be able to bring in their dependents. So because of this, there's like a marathon of everybody hustling, struggling, trying to make sure their dependents are officially relocated to come and join them here in the UK. And why this is also going on, so now they're also going to tighten up their own forces. They are going to be there. They're going to be on watch, trying to make sure that only people who are actually legal dependents, or people who are actually legally supposed to move over, are allowed to move over. So while you're bringing your dependents over, there are certain things you need to be aware of. Fine, now let's take it from the very top. Let's say you're bringing your dependents over, who are what? Your kids. Do you know that once they get to the border, there can be questions? Now the UK immigration begin to ask questions at the border points. Before, 6, 7 years back, they weren't doing that. At the time when we came to the UK, you don't really have to answer any question. All you had to do was present your visa, and then they were just going to tick, 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 and then that's gone. But now you're literally facing almost an interview at the border force. Now you're bringing kids. Let's say it's even your spouse bringing the kids over, maybe the husband or the wife, and the other main applicant is already over here in the UK. At the point where you're supposed to cross with your children, you're asked, oh, what's the birthday of this child? And then you begin to mumble, and you're like, I'm thinking it's December, or maybe it's January. Hold on, let me call my wife. Yeah? What did he just say? You have just what? You've just raised suspicion. The moment you do that, you have just raised suspicion. And what do you think will happen? At that point, both you and the child, both of you will be separated, and you'll be taken into separate rooms for further questionings and clarification. Now, what has happened? You've put yourself in a state of panic, in a state of anxiety. And at this point, you know you're dealing with trained psychologists. This is their job. Whatever you do, if you're not careful, you are going to get yourself in trouble. And at this point, you might even get to the point of escalating and then asking you to go get a lawyer to come and prove further instances. Okay, some little things you must be aware of, like you must know the ages of all your children. You must know their exact class, the classes they are in. You must know their birthdays. You can't even go further to know their best food, know their best color, know their friends, know things like simple questions that you know if you're asked these questions at the immigration point, you'll be able to just give the answers without mumbling and raising suspicions for yourself. This is something very, very important. That's number one. Now, let's say you're also coming in on the health and social care worker visa. Guys, on this particular route, please come close, because these are the ones that they are actually scrutinizing right now. Very few persons are allowed to just get through over once they get to the border. Usually now they are taking them to a separate room and they will question you and question you and question you, because of all the drama and all the saga that went on about selling COS and being employed by companies that we are not officially supposed to. So all these are going on. So if you've managed to secure a visa to come to the UK under the health and social care worker visa route, please be sure to answer some questions at the point of entry. Now, you should be able, please bear this in mind, be able to print out every single document which you've used from the point of application to the point of interview to the point of getting your COS itself, your visa biometric, whatever. Print all these things out and have them in a separate file or folder. So whenever you ask any simple question, all you have to do is open your file and give them the answer. Don't be in a situation where they're going to ask you, what is the name of your sponsor? And then you say, oh, give me a minute, let me check my phone. What is your sponsor identity number? Give me a minute, let me check my phone. And then they ask you another thing and you also want to consult your phone. They will ask for that phone. Yes, with your permission, of course, with your permission, you will give them the phone. And don't create a situation where you officially have to hand over your phone to them, because both things that are not supposed to be seen will be seen. That is the truth. Okay, so we all have things in our phone we don't want every eye to see. That's why it's a personal belonging. So instead of creating that situation where your phone then will be handed over to them, or even your laptop handed over to them for whatever reason, have all your documents printed out and kept in a file yourself. So whatever you're asked, you are able to bring out. Even before they say what's your COS, you bring out the COS and you give to them. What is your sponsor number? You give them. What is this? What is that? When did you get your interview done? And this and whatnot. Okay, so but even in this situation, you can also go ahead and answer all this. The person interviewing you might still not be convinced and will decide to take you to a side room, okay, or a detention center for further questioning. Let's say you're coming to the UK under the health and social care worker. So we know they are going to have to call somebody who is like an expert in this field to come and question you, to come and find out how you're able to secure the job. Did you officially secure the job through the right route? And is this US gotten free? Did you pay for it? And all those questions you will be asked, okay? So you want to be careful with what you say, because at this point, whatever you say will determine if you're actually going back to where you're coming from, or if you're officially coming into the UK. Okay, so these are things that are presently happening now. And I feel like it's so terrible, because it's even better you didn't even get a COS than to get a COS, get a visa, pay a flight, and come into the UK and face this kind of tremor and eventually get sent back. You won't be happy. So you need to be very, very careful. So if you're coming in on this route, you should be conversant with some questions, some very simple things that you can be asked. You can just be asked something, very simple thing about safeguarding. Okay, if you say you did an interview and you're coming in as a health worker, I'm sure you know what safeguarding is. What is safeguarding for adults? What is safeguarding for children? How are you going to manage moving and handling for somebody who is this? How are you going to manage this? What are you going to do for a patient who is choking? Those simple questions which they assume you should know if you actually did an interview to get a visa to come down here to work as a carer. It's not just about getting your COS and getting your visa and all that. Know that at the point of entry, you may be faced with certain questions. Now, some persons might be lucky and get through without having to answer these questions, while some other persons may have to be screened and screened and screened. And something else you also have to be 100% careful with is your body language, okay? You have a legit visa. you have a legit COS, you have a legit job, you don't have anything to hide. So there is no point fidgeting at the point of entry. You have everything you're supposed to have. You have all your documents with you. If you're standing with your child, this is your child, your biological child. You don't have anything to hide. So there is no point fidgeting. There's no point biting your nails, and there's no point cracking your fingers, and there's no point looking up the ceiling, because you might be standing at the very end of the queue, and then somebody is actually looking at everybody on the queue. And the moment they pick up that this person seems excessively anxious, this person seems very perturbed, then once you get to the front of the queue, be very sure that you are going to face excess questioning. Okay, so if you're coming legitly, you have all your things done, relax. They are not going to eat you up. They are human beings like you, okay, and they are just there to do their jobs. So if you're able to give them what they want, you're going to pass and go over. Now, let's go right into those who will be coming in as visitors. Okay, so for my brothers and sisters already here in the UK who are planning to invite their parents over this 2024, bear in mind that there is a new law now that where anybody coming into the UK under the visitor visa route is now allowed to also pick up remote jobs. So a lot of persons will be wanting to come in under the visitors route. Okay, and bear in mind that all these things, just the way we know, they also know. So there will be lots and lots of questionings. So if you're inviting somebody, please also take your time to put this person through about the possible questions that can be asked as a visitor coming to visit somebody. If you're coming in to visit me and then you say, the application will say you're my auntie. As an auntie, you should be able to say the exact relationship. Are you my mother's sister? Are you my father's sister? Are you my mother's second sister? Did you senior my mother, or did my mother senior you? How old am I? How old? Where did I live? Where exactly am I living here in the UK? How long have I been in the UK? What do I do as a job in the UK? How many kids have I got? Do I have a partner? Do I have a husband? You know, and then you say you're my parents. You should know my own birthday. You should know the applicant who has invited you their birthday. These are some little questions that can be asked a visitor who is planning to come into the UK. So if you're inviting somebody, please take your time to put them through some of these questions, some of your personal questions that they might likely ask them at the point of entry. Bear in mind that you are not the one who is going to be asked this question. The person asking is the person coming in. So you have to put whatever you think you've put in on the application when you were applying for them. Please let them know. Okay, if possible, give them a copy of this application so they are conversant with whatever you put in. So when they are asked questions, they will be able to answer. You cannot be coming in to visit somebody and in your application you said, yes, I know this person lives here, and then they ask you officially, like face to face, where does this person live? And then you're going this way, you don't know what to say. Is this the person's house? Is the person living on rent? And you don't know. Is this a duplex? Is it a flat? And you don't know. You're beginning to raise suspicions, and then you'll be taken aside and then further questionings. And then at this point, nobody's going to be happy. Okay, so we want to be careful. We want to know what we're dealing with here. Okay, so that this spring, this 2024, all those who will be coming in, you just have to get your facts right. You have to be prepared for the kind of questions that can possibly come up at the point of entry. And once you're prepared, I'm very sure nothing will stop you. You've already done the hard work. This is supposed to be like the easiest part when before you finally come into the UK. But I'm making a video about it because right now we've heard so many stories about it becoming difficult. Okay, so you don't want to do this. Watch this video, share this video to anybody who you think is going to benefit from this, and I'm sure they'll be glad you did. And until next time, I will see you again. Don't forget to subscribe, and welcome to this lovely channel. Bye bye.